So you may remember a video from 5 months ago when I brought you into this room for the very first time. I did mention at the time that it was probably not as clean as I would have liked, and there have been some changes made since then. Now, it may not look completely different to Eberron. I mean, it's certainly much less of a fire hazard than it was, but there are some key changes and some things I've been trying out with this room to make the streams that we do in here that much better. So today I'm going to take you on another little tour, which I guess we can call the state of the game room. So straight off the bat, the biggest problem that we've ever had with this room is the size. I mean, it's a little bit under 30 square meters or 300 square feet. And to be fair, we had a bit more setup in here than we probably should have. We were trying to run a state of the game setup, a gameplay rig, and a whole podcast scene as well, and it just wasn't really working. So it was really time to kind of tear it down and start again, unplug everything and give it another go. We've also done a couple of PC builds that you may have seen already, and those are being leveraged in different ways in here, so I'll show you those. But I would say the biggest thing that's changed is just a smarter use of the space. I mean, I'm way too excited about it, but I can walk around without fear of tripping over everything. That really shouldn't be that impressive, but it very much excites me. What we've also done in here is a bit of a hardware and software switch. While we were running Blackmagic hardware almost exclusively for the state of the game before, we're now using a bit of a mix of Blackmagic Capture with some vMix switching and some OBS encoding. And I'd say it's working pretty well. I mean, our first results, people were saying like, oh, you've got new cameras and all those sorts of things. They're the same cameras and the same lights, and we haven't really changed a whole lot other than our encoding machine's a lot better, and we actually have the space now to have a little bit of background separation. Let's take a little bit of a look at how all of this is set up. So starting over in this corner where our podcast setup used to be, I've actually set up the gameplay rig. You can already see where the TV used to be with the green paper behind it. So the two bottom screens are linked to the gameplay PC. We're actually using NDI for this setup, so you see OBS running there is actually sending an NDI signal up there to our encoding machine. I haven't had any problems with the NDI yet, and you can see here we're running some network tests about how much bandwidth it's using, but so far so good. So we're using the Logitech C930 webcam, which goes straight into OBS, and then we have our blue microphone, which is going all the way down there, down the mic arm, into this little nifty thing. We have a Whirlwind XLR splitter, so 1 into 2. One of those goes into a Scarlett Focusrite Solo. That is used for our gameplay PC, so for when we want to talk to people in game and that sort of thing, and we're also using that for headphone monitoring so we can hear the game sound. The other microphone XLR is going into our Behringer desk. Now you can see there's only one going in there right now, but we're kind of future-proofed because what we want to do is basically replicate this setup like we've done in the Engon room over there. So over here we actually used to have the operating desk for the state of the game, but now we've kind of flipped it around and we're going to build another gameplay setup so we can do duo streams and all that sort of stuff. The PC we're using for that is actually the same one we've used on the gameplay streams for the past couple of years. It's still really solid, so it'll work. Now I've also pulled up a couple of DX diags for you here. This is the gameplay PC, so you can see here we're running the i7-8700 at 3.2, and we're also running a 1080 Ti in this one, so it's a bit of a beast. On the encoding machine though, we are using the Threadripper 1950X, and we also have a 1060 in this one too. Having a separate encoding machine with so many cores has been awesome on all of these streams. You may have seen the OBS encoding settings video that I made kind of recently, and that kind of shows you exactly how far we've been able to push those machines. Peter also hasn't taken home his Skitarii from the Kill Team box that I bought. Come on, man. Paint your minis. We've also been recording a few more podcasts recently, and these are kind of our remote blue mics that I use for that, and I usually record those into a Zoom H6. Okay, so let's head on over to the state of the game kind of control setup. Now this, look, I'm not making excuses, and the cable management here is terrible, but I also haven't wanted to bundle it up just yet because I haven't been sure that we're not going to add or remove things. But I have this Velcro, which I'm going to use very soon to get it done, which apparently is made by Del Taco. Go figure. So for those of you that missed it, these are the cameras that we're using for the State of the Game stream. Got 3 of these ones, which are Blackmagic Micro Cinema 4Ks with the video assist viewfinders, which are really cool. Actually, I used these viewfinders and their onboard SD card recording for the recent Chile video that I did with Frederick Thylander.
Are you okay, man?
Yeah, no, that last one.
Yeah, that was...
It's ringing in my ears. These recordings actually gave me 3 clean video feeds, which I could edit in Premiere with like a multicam thing, and it worked really well. Super easy. The camera that we use for the behind the scenes stuff kind of hides in the corner here. It's one of the older Blackmagic Cinema models. Okay, so over here we have the new control setup. The first thing you'll notice is that we're actually using vMix instead of the Blackmagic software panel control thing that we were using before. And I really, really like this because what it's allowed us to do is kind of be a bit more flexible about how we set up state of the game. I'm actually building an X-Keys controller over here at the moment with the goal of kind of allowing anyone to be able to just press a button and operate the whole stream. So here I have the button to kind of arm the countdown. So you can see that there. The countdown is running. And if when that hits 0, I want to start the intro video, I can just press the intro go live button. This is an intro preview button. I'm gonna print out new ones, don't worry about it, but these are just kind of my crappy handwriting. But if I hit do the intro, it'll start doing the intro. I can then do it so I can switch between all the cameras. I can go to our split screen setups for Skype interviews. I can lower thirds, take them off, and, you know, toggle the ticker and all sorts of cool stuff. And also it has a handle so we can go fast and do all sorts of cool stuff. And I even made a button, which is a mystery to most people at the moment. And then we also have it set up so vMix is sending its audio to the desk, which is also receiving microphone inputs from the couch. And then all of those audios, vMix and all of the microphones, is going into the encoding machine. So OBS gets both audio and video separately, right up there. And we can mix them appropriately. You may have noticed that we've had less audio issues since we've switched the setup, so I'm happy. So the capture card we're actually using for the vMix machine is a Decklink Quad 2, and it has 4 inputs and 4 outputs. But you can actually configure those 4 inputs and 4 outputs to be 8 ins, 8 outs, and you can do all sorts of cool stuff with that. So technically one of the cool things we could do in the future is use one of those outputs, send it as another external source in vMix, and then put it up on the TV screen in the back there. Like if we have a Skype interview with Tony and Terry, which we're actually setting up for right now with this laptop, we can make sure that their Skype goes into vMix, and then vMix puts it into OBS and all that sort of stuff, but it also sends it to the TV. Or if we want to have gameplay, we can have gameplay going into vMix, but also it could be behind us on the screen as well. Right now we're kind of cheating, so when we're doing our state of the game broadcasts, we actually are just using a thumb drive, playing a video file. It's not ideal, but it works. So yeah, we've got a few video files on here that we use to have as backgrounds. I used the Ngon one for the Chile video, but then for example, if we want to start state of the game, we can do it like this. I love having the screen in the background. It just kind of makes it feel a bit more pro, which is cool. I have to show you this thing. Keelan sent us this hive that he made. That's freaking cool. What other stuff do we have in here? So we've also been able to organize a few things. You can see here I have a box O console stuff. A bunch of consoles up there. Actually, I have to show you these as well. These NewTek Connect Spark boxes that I picked up at E3 recently. I haven't had a chance to try them yet, but they seem to be super cool and we can do some cool things. I think we can actually use them for going to different places in the office. They're going to make console streaming a whole lot easier for us, so we'll see how that works. And also they look like cute little bunnies. Yeah, so that's basically where we're at right now with the room. This is a similar shot to what I did last time, and you'll already see that it is so much cleaner and we have a whole bunch more space in here. Okay, so I was gonna leave it there, but I really can't leave this room and edit this video until I've dealt with those cables. Alright, Alright, that'll do. That's going to be all for today, but we'll be back again next week with another video, and the week after that we're doing the Samsung giveaway, so if you haven't checked out that video yet, go back and have a look at that giveaway video, and we'll see you all again next week. Okay, bye!